Hello and welcome. I am really excited. This is my favorite type of event. We're running the Pagani Huayra R, and I'm going to do this with no upgrades for as long as I can. We'll see where that takes me. I really love these events. So there can be a lot of strategy in these events. This one says no off track. First thing we need to find out is, what does that actually mean? Check this out. Well, I was off track for 1 full second before it failed me. So that tells me if this stage gets difficult, I could take an off-track cut if I need to. Now, I am not expecting to get difficult. I will tell you, I'm surprised to see no off-track on the very first race. This event could get very difficult, which I actually like, but you will need my help. So, check out all the videos. Now, this is, we'll go through as much as we can, but I would suggest don't start the event until I finish it. You've got lots of time to do this event, but this might cost a lot. We'll just have to see. And like I said, I'll go as far as I can without upgrades. Now, right now, I'm just trying to get a feel for this car. Feels kind of strange to me. It feels a bit slow and a bit heavy. Ooh, I was off track for a bit there. Gotta keep track of that in case this seems like this will be easy. But I'm just checking my settings because this feels like it's not steering as good as I'm used to. I'm using string sensitivity 2 like I always do. Tilt B controls like I always do. All my assists are off like they always are. So it's just getting used to this car. It feels like it's not steering as much as I would want it to, but again, I've got no upgrades. Now, you want to finish with as small a lead as possible. This is bot management technique. Ooh, he's coming fast. Oh, that's not the finish line. Oh, that's right. Okay, let's bunch up the field a little bit. It said no damage, but there's a trick to that. You can do the pit maneuver like that and not get damaged. If you look back, I lift off the accelerator right as I'm doing the pit maneuver. So I was expecting him to get past. I have no idea where second place is. The longer you can drag out a race and the closer you finish to the car behind you, the better. So there's several things that increase the difficulty of an event going forward. The first thing is when you win a race. That's always going to make it harder for the next race by just a little bit, but it adds up. The next thing is, how fast did you finish? So if you finish really fast and with a big lead, of course it's going to get more difficult. So if I can drag the race out a little bit, and then always make sure you finish with as little lead as possible. So this is just manipulating the basic technique in the game. And look at that, he's slowing down. He will hit me though. I could fail if he hits me. So the game's designed to get more challenging as you win more often. Inversely, if you lose a lot or finish with a barely win, it doesn't get as difficult. So we want to manipulate that as much as possible to save money on future upgrades. And so you got to do stuff that it kind of seems a little bit boring in the first few races, but that's just the way it is. You got to do it now because I should have done some bot slowing. Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be any races to really do bot slowing. What is bot slowing, you might be asking? That's when you lose a race on purpose to slow them down. More on that later. This is a tailgating stage, not a drafting stage, okay? So watch this. Okay, I'm drafting right now because my speed's yellow, but watch, I'll get beside him once in a while, and time is still accruing. Time is still adding up. So tailgating means you just need to be within the prescribed distance. You don't have to be right behind the car. You can be in a completely different lane. You could be completely beside the car as long as you're a tiny, tiny bit behind them. So you'll see that at a point that I'll get next to this car, probably at some corner, and it'll still be counting as tailgating. I was really nervous here that it says 1 of 1, and I thought, how am I going to get all my tailgating in? This race is about to end. But the lap counter's kind of screwed up. It should say 0 of 1 as an out lap, and it doesn't. So, oh, no. Oh, gosh. I totally forgot. This is Bridge Circuit. Oh, I do that too much. I really should be reading that more often. Anyway, so obviously it is 1 lap. There's nothing wrong with the counter. It's me. This stage didn't say no damage. Now that I got my tailgating almost in, now that I did, time to go Destructo. You got to win the race, but I just might as well smash up an extremely expensive Pagani Huayra R. It'll get all fixed in a couple of seconds. And drags out the race a little bit. I don't want to get crazy and sit here and park for an hour. That's insane. That won't really do. He's hitting me. Really? Okay, well, I'm going to try to bring him closer. How close can I bring him? I don't like driver view because, oh, I guess he was right beside me. I usually use chase view. I like using driver view sometimes for drafting or tailgating, and it's just something interesting in an easy stage. Okay, what do we got here now? Again, I've got no upgrades. And we've got to do... Oh, that's kind of interesting. This is kind of fun, events like this. So I'm testing the off-track. Okay, 1 full second. Let's call it 1 full second. Okay, let's go. Lapping 19 cars. That's interesting. Now, here's the question. Can I let them lap me back? Well, that's one thing we need to test. If I have to lap everybody and win that way, oh my gosh, is that going to increase the difficulty down the road? You don't want to do that. And you got to keep your eyes open because, woo, they're 3 wide. Where am I going to go? I believe it did say no damage, so that was surprising. 3 wide. Didn't expect that. It's not normal in bot programming to do that, but you can get 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide. You can stack them up. This is a wide track. Okay, getting to the lead, obviously that's a joke. They're extremely slow cars, so I'm just working on my braking points here a little bit. So when you drive with no assists, if you're not familiar with this, you basically, like some people think you have to learn every single track on every single car, and that's not true. You learn every single track, and then you learn that for certain cars you need to brake here, for other cars you need to brake there. You use approximates. So I know my braking points for this track in lots of cars. But I know I'm always looking at kind of the same thing. For instance, on your right, after the bridge, to your right, there's going to be 2 areas that are bright green. Here's one, here's the other. In some cars, I'm braking right after the second bright green. In other cars, I'm not braking until a patch of dirt on the track. Just depends. Formula 1 cars are kind of more like the patch of dirt. And same with Cops Corner coming up here, which is the first corner after the start-finish line. In Formula 1 cars, you don't brake. In hypercars, you often do. It's possible if I had more grip, I wouldn't. And then this banner overhead, at full speed, I'd be braking right about there. So what this is telling me, what I'm already learning, I'm learning my braking points here. That's going to translate to all other tracks. Because I start thinking in my head, okay, what cars have I driven that feel kind of like this brake-wise? And then I just adapt that. So I know I've got to brake early compared to a fully upgraded Agera RS, but nowhere near as early as a Bugatti Bolide, but way earlier than a Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo. You see what I mean? So you get to kind of know things, and there's always approximates, and then you tweak them. Okay, now we're about to go way faster than normal speed, because I'm going to sit here for a long time. We're now going 8 times normal speed. I'm letting everyone lap me. I just wanted to check on the instructions again. And then I'm going to let these guys catch up. And I've got to stack up the field a bit here. I do have to win, which is what I was checking. So I have to win. So I'll do that. I've lapped 19 drivers and let them unlap me. So what's going to happen? Will I lose or will I pass? Well, that's why you've got me. That's why you need me. You need someone who's willing to test this stuff. Now, what do we have here? Oh, they're 2 wide. And here comes another one. Is he going to take a 3 wide? Wow, that's interesting. Well, I can't block 3 wide. That's for sure. So, man, they're slow. I don't want to win to the big lead. Oh, let's go drifting. The drift's pretty nice. Beautiful car. Paganis are just beautiful cars. Beautiful lines. Everything flows so nicely. Oh, I love it. Where is everybody? Come on, you guys. You're not that slow. You're driving really bad. Now, I actually do want that. I want them to keep driving really bad all the way to the last stage. But anyhow, so I'm going to let them catch up an awful lot. Oh, he's taking the lead. We have one guy stepping out. And there we go. That's about the best I can do. And I have fast forward through some of this, a little snippet of each race, how much I'm getting paid. I'm not worried about winning if I don't have to. All right, this one's interesting. Average speed races. They're tricky because not only do I have to win this race, but I've got to maintain average speed. So that could force me into a massive lead. I don't want that. Usually I would do a lot of tests. We'll see what happens here. So what I'm going to do is I'll get into the lead and we'll just see where that puts me. If I'm in the lead really early, well, I might have to try to scrub some speed and I might end up having to turn around and drive the wrong direction. With an average speed race, you can't just park and wait for the bots. Oh, I love this Silverstone variant. It's a wonderful place because right here is not off track, but bots will never drive there. The only reason that isn't off track is because the game doesn't include that that's actually a variant. It's part of another circuit, but it just decides, oh, well, that's on track, because it's on track if we're on this variant or that variant. Kind of a neat trick in Real Racing 3. It helps to know that. Okay, so lap 2 coming up right here. I've already got, gosh, that's a pretty big lead. I'm just thinking about what I'm going to do. And thinking through the track in my head. I'm really familiar with this track. Okay, so I'm going to pick a section here. Let's see. As I'm heading to Stowe, I'm going to turn around and drive the wrong direction for a bit. With an average speed event, you have to keep moving. So if I drive the wrong direction for a bit, that's going to keep adding up average speed. So the very next corner is called Stowe. I'm going to do a very quick turnaround, hopefully not go off track. I can't remember if it said no off track, so I'm going to be careful. I'm going to throw this thing sideways. Oh, it's digging in. Come on, come on. You just need one tire on track in Real Racing 3, okay? See, I'm losing speed, but it starts slowing down, and then I start earning it again. Now I'm going to turn around again, try to block. Oh, nuts. Ah, nuts. 2 guys passed me. I don't want to lose this race. That was a Senna GTR. Man, they're throwing some big dogs at me. That makes sense, actually. Senna GTR has got very similar PR. Very, very close. Oh, that's going to be an interesting car to contend with. The Senna GTR has amazing grip, and speed-wise, it just keeps climbing. Oh, I got back in the lead without much trouble at all. In fact, I'm going to slow down. Catch up. Come on, chimp. I mean, champ. Chimp, champ. There we go. That takes us to the end of Stage 1. Thank you for joining me today. We'll get to there's no upgrades on my car at all. Hello and welcome to Stage 2 of the Huayra Royale event. I've got no upgrades at all, and we're gonna keep going that way as long as I possibly can. We'll see if this gets challenging or not. This first one of Stage 2, don't think it's gonna be very challenging. I'm not expecting it to be really challenging yet. Well, you know what? This is a 5-stage event, and often recommended PR events are 7 stages. This might get difficult pretty early. Well, it'll be interesting to see. So far, I do really like this car. I've started to dial into it. So like I was mentioning in the Stage 1 video, I'm already taking what I've learned from this car, and I'm going to apply it to this track. Now, what I don't know, what I didn't really get a good chance to test, is how much the grip is. So, as we approach Eau Rouge and Radion, we have to see if this is a full throttle through here car. Woo! On those brakes. So I didn't really test that out there, of course, because, well, there's a car in the way. So we'll have to just see if it can take that full throttle. Spa is a wonderful track to test cars at. I just love Spa. It's such a legendary track, and it's an awesome track to drive cars on, especially cars that have decent grip. It's not much fun in cars that have no grip. I don't like it much at all. Now, one thing you'll notice if you're not familiar with the game is I'm certainly on the curbs a lot, certainly taking 2 tires off track a lot. That is of no consequence in this game. I do notice in other games that you can't have 2 tires off track. Now here, I'm going to do something interesting. There is the Zonda I was supposed to catch. I want to capture him and stop him. And I want everyone else to pass us. I have a feeling that as soon as I run him off the track, this stage is over. So I'm waiting. Come on, guys, get around. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. I want everyone else to pass because I have a feeling this is going to end as soon as I take him off track. And whatever position I'm in, that's where I'm going to finish. So I just want to finish as far back as possible. This is bot management techniques. I can't do bot slowing because I'm now below recommended PR. So you can't do bot slowing at this point. Okay, I'm going to let him go. And I was thinking I might take this all the way to the start-finish line, but I will just see. That's probably the best thing to do, is to play with them. Well, maybe not all the way to there, because there isn't really necessarily off-track there. Well, it depends what they... See, off-track technically in Real Racing 3 is all 4 tires, but 2 tires off-track will reduce your clean race bonus. So, I don't know. It's interesting. And... What? I didn't get him off track at all. Okay, well, whatever. He had a tire off track. That was weird. Okay, I was going to try an old school test here. I quit and retried the event a whole bunch of times. Didn't seem to do one thing to the times. Sometimes just doing quit and retry will lower those times. This is brutal. The steering is absolutely atrocious. So I'm taking off-track cuts. I mean, this is horrible. I'm really surprised. The steering, some people were complaining about steering in the very last event we just did for the Aston Martin Speedster, the V12 Speedster. I barely noticed it. This is horrible. And then I really blew my braking point. Kind of worried about this. This is my second attempt of actually doing the stage. I still had time to spare and I wasted a bunch of time off track. I don't consider that difficult. So maybe I didn't need to go off track, but I did. Now, what do we got here? Now I think is where we get to push this car a little bit. Yes, indeed. So, I've got a speed target and I've got degrading tires. Alright, so I'm going to wait a little bit because you can't get overtaken. So if you overtake someone and then they overtake you, you probably fail. So let's take Radeon full throttle. Got a nice push from that Ferrari. I think that was an FXXK Evo. I could be wrong. And look at this. You can hit speed multiple times. As soon as I hit speed, I slow down a little bit, hit speed again. And we're getting close to the line, but we'll take it easy for a bit here. And I'd like to create a gap. This right now I'm feeling a little bit sandwiched. So I'm gonna have to start making a gap here just so I can feel comfortable so I can do my next speed run. Boy, is he ever slow. Anyhow, whoa, don't want to hit him. Pretty sure this is no damage and no off track, and I did do a little test. You go off track here, boom, instant fail, which is kind of surprising for stage 2 of a recommended PR event. So they're ramping up the difficulty, it seems. You know what I didn't check to see is if assists were disabled. I don't use them, so I don't know. Wow, I should have checked that. Okay, well, I can't check it, so I forgot to check that. Anyhow, we will see. I don't think so. Oh well. Hopefully you've learned some no assist racing. It's very handy to learn. It certainly can save a lot of currency if you learn how to race without assists, and you can earn a lot of currency. It opens up a whole new realm of racing, like endless endurance racing. Probably one of the things I'm most known for is how you can you turn an endurance race into something you run as long as you want to, get huge earnings, and the real earnings come on bonus fame days. So on a bonus fame day, you run a long race as long as you can, and you earn what you earn. That's it, and it's over. But you do an endless endurance on a like 100% bonus fame day with the agent hired, it turns into 4 times the fame. And you drive for a couple of hours at some tracks, you can make some huge currency. But you really can't do it without having your assists off. Okay, well, I've created a really nice gap between myself and the Porsche behind me. And I believe that's a Lamborghini in front of me. I could be wrong. Pretty sure that's a Lamborghini, though. We'll take a quick peek at the end. It'll show me what kind of car that is. But I've got a nice gap here. I've already hit all my speed requirements. I could have done it all. Well, I did it all in 1 lap. I kind of got a little ahead of myself there. I'm just curious how bad this is going to get tires-wise. Usually I would skip ahead for you guys, like I would just fast forward through the rest of this race. But these tires are getting really degraded, so this could get challenging. Just see what happens here. Like you could lose it on a corner and end up failing the stage. So I would really recommend you do what I did, and that is, while you have the tires, create a gap by braking a bit too long in the corners and then speed off so the guy doesn't catch you. And that's how you create a bit of a gap so that you've got some room to play with. So if I lose it on a corner, I've got a little bit of room where I could catch up again. So of course, minor loss in a corner, not huge. If I really lose it in a corner and go off track, then I'm going to fail the stage and have to start all over again. Whoa! These tires are in the red. That is surprising. Well, I don't know how snaky loose I might be. I'm going to take it really easy. Up until... You know what? I got a big enough gap. I'm going to throw it sideways at the start-finish line. Woohoo! And you know what? In the old days, you could fail for doing what I did, hitting the wall after you cross the start-finish line. That was so annoying. They fixed that a long time ago. But they used to make it that if you got hit after the start-finish line, you'd fail. If you went off track after the start-finish line, you'd fail. So, yeah. I did a test with this particular stage. I tried letting Michael lap me so that I was still, like, and then just crossed the finish line when he was, well, 4,000, 5,000 meters ahead of me, but I'm behind him. I wasn't sure. Sometimes there's been tricks like that have worked, but it didn't work. So I'm rushing. I want to catch him as fast as possible. I thought I might have to throw the sideways, but I didn't have to. Let's see. Let's do a full throttle test of Eau Rouge Radion right from corner one. Pretty sure I can keep it nice and pinned let's see here. Oh yeah, beautiful. That's with no upgrades yet. Wow. This car is really going to be something as we add grip upgrades then, because it's already, not a lot of cars take Eau Rouge flat out. So that's pretty impressive. Okay, Mr. Michael, where are you? Gotta be coming up here pretty soon. There he is in the distance. And yeah, better make sure I don't hit him. Well, come on, man. That's far too reckless. I have a feeling this will end as soon as I have a big enough lead on Michael, 1,600 meters or whatever it is in yards if you're in the United States. So I'll drift, poo on corner a little bit, do a little bit of drifting, because although I better be careful that's a pretty big lead they're forcing us to have. So they obviously, of course, they know how bot management works. That's why they want you getting a big lead sometimes, to increase the difficulty going forward. That's why you do what I was doing, which is bot management and bot slowing techniques, so that when this happens, it doesn't hurt you too much. Because you get to a certain point and you can't fix it without buying upgrades. Okay, let's see what happens if the race just suddenly ends when I hit. Let's see here. Oh, well, seemed to end a little bit early. Oh well. We'll have to keep watching for races ending early. You can see I've got no upgrades. Here's the rewards, and coming up right away is the playlist link. Hello and welcome to Stage 3 of the Huayra Royale, where we are racing for our very own Pagani RR3. This is an interesting day. There's some interesting things we can do today, like in this very first race. It says flee. What the heck does that mean? Do I flee forwards or backwards? And how far do I have to go before I've actually fleed enough? Well, this is going to surprise you. Let's just go back for a little ways, and you could go all the way to the start-finish line. I don't know if that's necessary. It just says flee. So, I don't know. How far am I supposed to flee? I think maybe. Is this enough? Let's just do a test. What happens if I quit? There you go. You probably don't even have to go that far. Well, that one's easy. I just quit and I passed. This one, this looks a little bit interesting. Let's see what we have to do here. So I have to be on the lookout for a black Huayra R and tailgate it for 5 seconds. Okay. Well, do I have to catch up and tailgate it, or can I let it catch up to me and then tailgate it? Well, that's an interesting question. And what happens if I do that? Will I finish in last place or first place? Well, that's an interesting question. You'd think I'd finish last place. Well, let's do a test. I'll do a couple of donuts. I gotta find a place to park. I don't really want to park here. I'd rather try to catch the car at the back section of this track, where the bots have a tendency to overbrake, and I do not. I know how to drive this car, so I will not be overbraking it. But yeah, we'll get to the end of this long straight here, and I gotta find a place where I can be out of the way, because if they hit you, you fail. And believe it or not, sometimes they just plow right into you. They seem to not really care very much. So I'm just gonna park at the very edge of this corner here, like on the outside portion, because they should be taking the inside line. I don't think I have to worry. So probably somewhere around here, although I don't want to park like that. I gotta make it so I can get onto the gas really easy. Oh, whatever, something like this. Now we're gonna warp ahead. I don't want to make you watch 3 minutes of nothing. Here they are. So I'm not sure where he is. Oh, I think I saw him. Yep. Ooh, scrape. See what I mean? Sometimes they don't mind hitting you. Thankfully, I didn't fail. All right, so I just gotta catch up. And at this point, I'm close enough to the start-finish line, I don't really care. I'll get in my 5 seconds of tailgating. Tailgating and drafting are two very different things. I already have half a second of tailgating. If you you don't know the difference, here's a video in the top right-hand corner. You can check it out later, check it out now, or whatever you want to do. And that one explains the difference between tailgating and drafting or slipstreaming. Now, I gotta get past this guy, I gotta be careful, don't want to get too tangled up because that will be bad for me. I'll fail the stage, and I'll just let this finish. Pretty sure the race will end as soon as I'm done. Yep, there we go. Not hard. I'm just trying to do, oh crap, it gave me first place. Oh well, maybe it's still registered I was lapped, I don't know. Okay, what do we have to do this time? Yeah, in this particular stage, okay, here's a point of embarrassment, guys. I spent an hour on this. Why? Because I didn't want to podium. That's why. So, what do you do if you need to hit average speed, but you don't want to podium, which means I do not want to finish first, second, third. So here's the problem. Watch this. I'm going to get into fourth place right away, and you have to pass third place if you want to. You have to be at least in third place if you want to finish with average speed. So here's the trick. You got to turn around, not hit anybody, and not go off track at all. Instant fail if you go off track. This is already getting very difficult. Driving this backwards. How good are you driving a track backwards? I bet you're not very good, because I'm not very good. So I took a while to figure out how far can I push this, and I make a few mistakes here. Not too bad, but you know, how often do you drive Le Mans backwards? And it's tricky. And then I've got to turn around, and this thing doesn't have the greatest brakes. Like, it's okay, don't get me wrong. And I've got no upgrades, right? So maybe you don't know that. No upgrades. No upgrades at all. Okay, now, I can't go off track at all. I'm going to try to push this back pretty deep. There's a section here that isn't off track, even though it looks like it is. But, okay. So, I want to finish in 8th place. Hopefully it actually registers me as being in 8th place. And I've got to hit that average speed target. I tried going all the way down the Mulsanne straight, like past the first chicane, till I was encountering traffic again, and getting all the way back here, and I couldn't meet average speed. It sounds crazy, but the more time you waste driving backwards in an inefficient, like I don't know how to drive this course backwards that well. Anyway, here I'm hitting average speed. I'm going to lose a lot because I got to get on the brakes. So it looks really good right now, but you just watch. I start losing it fast. And I'm not joking, guys. I spent over an hour. I don't know. I get obsessed. See, there you go. I made it, though. Now, what does it register me as? First place? What the? Well, maybe I should have done a test in Cloud Restore. Oh, well, that's what I did. That's what we've done. Now, this one. This is my second attempt. I was really frustrated on my first attempt. Right at the very last corner, a bot hit me and made me fail. I had no tires left. We're talking like 1%. So, you better really get some gains on the first part of this lap. I think they have someone new designing these events now. I have not seen an event this difficult for a long time. I've never seen an event where you have no tires at the end of a degrading tire stage. So, you gotta really push it during this first section of Le Mans and just really get some huge gains. Even heading into the first corner, your tires are gonna be right around 70%, maybe 75. So, already, that's getting low enough. You're already having to back up your braking point. So I'm gonna push it a little bit. Let's just see how this works. Oh, okay, there's my braking point. And can I get back on the throttle when I want? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, that was way too close to the wall. 67% tires. Okay, I'm now going to have to start braking earlier. My brakes are great, but that's not the point. I need to be slowed down more when I get to the corners because I don't have the same grip. No, I've got a really nice lead. I've done a really good job getting that lead, so I can afford to be careful. But look how fast these tires are degrading. Now, don't you get me wrong. I like the challenge. I'm debating whether I want to buy upgrades at the end of this stage. I think I might still be in the 24-hour period. Maybe, was it 24 hours? Anyhow, the thing that sucks is that I'm resisting buying any upgrades. I'm hoping I can do this with no upgrades at all. I think that would be amazing. If I'm wrong, it's 10 ads per upgrade. If it's a 12-hour servicing window and you want to get through it quick, you've got to watch 10 ads. If I've got to do that for all 7 upgrades, that's 70 ads. Or I just sit there and wait 12 hours, which I'm not going to do. So, we'll see how this goes, guys. But I think I'm not going to do it because you guys really like to see if an event is possible with no upgrades. And I like to see it, and I like to push myself. Like already, I actually learned even more about Le Mans than I knew before because I spent an hour on the last stage. I found speed in some areas where I didn't know there was some, and just different race lines. Now, my tires are atrocious. Like, this is abysmal. I'm gonna really have to get braking early. And look at that, just stepping out in no time. If you're on tilt A, I don't envy that. Because if you're stepping out, you could be stuck sliding off track at this point. Tilt B, you'll notice I can lift and regain, look at that. Regain control, feather the throttle, I'm okay. No tires pretty much. Okay, I will be letting this mystery person, fully catch up to me after the last corner. But look how much breathing room I have. Not much. So there you go, you really gotta push it at the beginning. No tires. Cool. Well, there we go. I'm really liking this. I like the challenge. I'm going to stay the course. No upgrades. We're going to keep it that way. So please join me for stage 4. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here's the rewards. Please like, please subscribe. Hello and welcome to stage 4 of Huayra Royale. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick I use. I save these up and use them in times like this, where I'm going to be facing some more difficult stages. Probably going to have to redo certain stages like 5, 10, 15, 20 times, and so I use them now. Now, today starts out not too bad, no upgrades. Okay, still starting today with no upgrades. We'll see how long that lasts. If you are familiar with Mount Panorama in a car that's fast with no assists, use pretty close to standard braking points. I had to back them up a tiny bit in this car versus other hypercars. Again, I've got no upgrades, and so who knows what that'll be like. So this took me a couple of tries just because I had to figure out where the stupid bots are driving. All these ridiculously slow bots. And then as you get faster, you encounter them in little slightly different places. But you can notice here, like, watch, I'm staying full throttle. Like, check it out, even through this corner here, full throttle. And then I'm on the gas, passing someone also right here. And this is not difficult with no upgrades. Well, I shouldn't say that. You know what, I'm sorry guys, let me correct myself. If you can do Group C or Group B finishes in a weekly time trial, this won't be difficult for you. But for other people, this could be very difficult. Certainly not with 0 upgrades. I mean, just buy all $R upgrades. Okay, you should do that. If you're having troubles at all, just do that. You're probably gonna need to spend gold before this is done, but hey, stay tuned. Keep watching my videos to find out how hard it is. So far, I've spent nothing, which means I've been earning gold. Woo, woo, woo! Okay, well, a couple of seconds left over. Have some fun with it. Okay, that one wasn't too difficult. This one, we have got fuel. It's really funny how I wish they did this in a standard way. 100 units of fuel that are draining like I've got a massive hole in my tank. And there's a time constraint. So what I found was, you can pretty much drive normally, but you've got to reach a certain point. You've got to reach a certain banner on the back straight before the timer runs out. So do a little bit of lifting and coasting. See, I'm coasting right now. Do a little bit of that, just so you've got a little bit of fuel to give you a push on the backside of the mountain. Same with here, don't lift too early. You don't want to waste too much time. So don't go lifting crazy early, but it's not a difficult stage. There's no one in your way. And it doesn't matter, you don't need to have any fuel left over, okay? You can have 0 units of fuel. You'll see that because I'm going to completely run out. Now, again, staying full throttle through all of this. In case you're wondering, tilt B controls. All of my assists are off. Steering sensitivity for me is 2. That's a personal choice. You can see here lots of coasting, a little bit of throttle, a little bit of braking so I don't blow this point here. And then I want to power out a little bit. Oh! And now we just coast and hopefully, see that banner? I've got to get past that before the time runs out. Instant pass if you do. Nothing to worry about. Okay, so that is the end of no upgrade driving. It is impossible to go past this point without any upgrades. Impossible, okay? You cannot hit speed. It's not possible. Now, this is tricky. A couple of ways you could do this. It doesn't matter what position you finish in. Okay, so I did do this with just 3 upgrades, but it's really tricky. I added a 4th. Now we're gonna back up and I'm gonna wait. We're gonna go 16 times normal speed, 52 seconds just passed. Watch the flashing hand, see that? That's the 9th place car. Now I'm watching and I'm listening. As soon as I see him, I go. Because I want him to push me. I don't want to draft, I want to get pushed because he's faster than me down here. This is tricky. This is really, really, really hard to do, okay? I got to get him stuck behind me. Now I've got to get ready on the brakes. You're going to notice my brakes are going to come on. I preload the brakes because I want to release the accelerator to have the brakes engage. That one was really slick. Don't have to use any stunts. Now I'm going to let first place pass me because I need to get some tailgating in. I'm going to get him to pass me. I will overtake him later in the lap so I can repeat what I just did. So watch this. This is the advantage of using no assistance, no assists at all. I power out of the corners better than this guy. He's faster than me, but that doesn't matter because I power out of the corners faster. So he's not much faster than me, but you'll see he'll start to pull away eventually. So I've got to be on the gas before he does if I'm tailgating. Now you'll notice that this is tailgating, not drafting. What is the difference between tailgating and drafting? Well, I've got a special video for that. It's popping up in the top right-hand corner now. You know what? I'll throw it at the very end of this video too, because it'd be really good if you watch all the way through. I'll put it at the end. Really briefly, whenever I'm slipstreaming, my speed turns yellow. So that's what I have to have going down that back straight. I'm not fast enough even with these upgrades. I need that push. There you go. There's my overtake because they brake for that corner when you don't have to in this corner. The car, you don't have to brake in this car at that corner. I'll show that to you again. Now I'm slowing down a bit. If you slow down too much, he'll hit you and you will fail. Oh my gosh, I'm worried. Okay, I'm purposely slowing down a bit more. Oh gosh. Gosh, that's nerve-wracking. Where are you? There you are. So I'm having no viewpoint in this car lets you see out the rear view mirror or the side view mirrors. You've got no choice but to do this. Ready on the brakes. There you go. Releasing those brakes. I might have to skid a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, baby. Okay, I did it. Let him pass me. And I got to do this one more time. Oh, it gets stressful. I have spent a lot of time on this particular stage. First, I have to figure out how to do it. My first couple of times doing it, I was catching up to the back of the field, but the last place car, the 9th place car, he's just too slow. So if you're slipstreaming behind him, oh look, see tailgating. I can be beside him and tailgate. It's pretty cool. Now you got to check out my special video though, because you can also be at a dead stop and tailgate, and that's hilarious. Very neat trick I've used in some special events. So do check out that video. Again, it will be at the end as well. Now, so the 9th place car was too slow. Slipstreaming, I couldn't hit the speed, and he doesn't push hard enough. So I need this guy who is trying to pretty much kill me on my bumper. Now, watch this. Here's the corner where they brake and I don't. Watch it. See that? I'm going to slip in front of him, then brake a bit. Oh, I better get a little bit more ahead of him. If he hits me, I will fail. I had that happen, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. I'm not kidding you guys. I spent an hour on this stage, on this one race. And I don't mind. I love this. I love problem solving. I love figuring out what can I do to finish this. See, also when you're slipstreaming, when I'm behind him, you end up having to pretty well hit him to slow down. Watch it. Here we go. And, oh gosh, I'm late on the brakes. I better throw it sideways a little bit. I'm very nervous. Oh man, that was a good job. I'm proud of that. Oh boy. I'm actually going to let him overtake me because I'm just nervous that he's going to wreck me on the last corner. And I'm still in 10th place, right? Because everyone lapped me. There you go. Incredibly difficult. Only 4 upgrades. I will show you those upgrades at the end of this stage, which is also a very difficult stage. I spent 3 or 4 attempts before I made a decision, which isn't necessarily for the faint of heart, so...
Warning, reckless and dangerous driving.
That's your warning. If you don't like it, look away. Yep, we're going to do off-track cuts. We are going to be doing wall riding and all sorts of techniques. This is going to make some people go crazy, but if you don't like it, go spend more currency. Have at it. That's fine with me. My job is to try to show you the cheapest way you can earn this car. And remember, we've had lots of stages and different events where we were forced to drive off track. We were forced to smash people off the track. All sorts of stuff. So if you don't like this, I don't know. Maybe you're playing the wrong game. I love it. Okay, coming up, a wall slide, which definitely you can't do with your assists on. Check it out. And you pull out of it. I lost a little bit more than I wanted to, but that will help me to carry more speed. Then I'm full throttle for a long time. If you do that right, you don't get any damage. You only want your right rear quarter panel contacting the wall, not the front. The front will grind. I used to shoot through this really fast. Check out what I'm about to do here. Check out, I'm going to set up an overtake. Whoa, goes around him really fast. And then we're going to do another wall ride getting onto the back straight. And front end hit a little bit, but still, that's faster than slowing down. You can actually get airborne on that corner. Some cars like McLaren MP4X, I sometimes get airborne setting up that wall ride. It's pretty crazy. Okay, another big high-speed off-track cut. Let's see here. Last couple of times I did this, I didn't even catch first place to the last corner. Oh, I got a decent shot this time because I'm catching him at the last corner of this lap almost. Well, I mean, I saw him. Yeah, my other attempts, I only saw him at the last lap. So I've got a really good chance this time of catching up with Peter. I'm not sure how hard Peter is as a bot because that's a special events type of a bot. So I'm just going to do proper braking point here, then power out of this corner, and I will definitely be doing another wall slide. Actually, I caught up quite a lot. It's possible I wouldn't have to do some of these tricks. I'm going to keep doing it though, because I just don't know. And I've already spent a lot of time on this stage. You definitely, with 4 upgrades like I've got, you cannot do clean racing and win this race. Not possible. I don't care how good you are. Like, it's not going to happen. So, if it does, congratulations. I'll just say that. I'm going to do a wall slide here, maybe overtake Peter right now. Woo! Oh, you can get damaged, by the way. You could smash and pass and do whatever you want. I was doing a bit of that in a prior attempt, but then you also get damage means you're slower. So, I mean, I could smash Peter right now, but I'm just going to leave Peter alone. I'll just do an off-track cut here. Maybe I don't need to, but whatever. Oh, wait a second. I better reel Peter back in. That's right. I don't want to win with a big lead. Okay, come on, Peter. Catch up. We got to make this close. Maybe not that close. Whoa, Peter, don't go. There we go. As promised, you can see I've only got 4 upgrades. Please like, please subscribe. Join me tomorrow for stage 5. Hello and welcome to stage 5, the final stage of the Huayra Royale. I still have just 4 upgrades that I put on in stage 4. We'll see how long that gets me. Lime Rock Park is interesting because I don't have a lot of experience here. So check this out. Full throttle here. And can I keep it full throttle here? Oh yeah, baby. Ooh, that's risky. Well, let's just keep on going. You gotta really power through this. So because I don't have a lot of experience here, a lot of trial and error because I still haven't optimized this track in this type of car. So it's a learning curve, and I'm really stretching things. You can see I've already been spending some of my off track. I've got to get up to 5th place here right away. So you got to go really hardcore to get there, and not a lot of contact allowed. There we go. Now I can relax and just finish the stage. That took a long time to work that out with just these upgrades. So I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully you can learn something from that. It went by pretty fast. We'll get more into this. So there you can see 4 upgrades. Then I added a bunch more. So that's what I've now spent in total to get up to 13 upgrades. We'll take a look at those upgrades in a bit. You have got to make up an awful lot of room quick here. So I'm going to stay full throttle. Okay, watch this. I get the arc so I can keep it full throttle through this. Ooh, off track is interesting because that's not off track. Little braking point there. And then I'm going to take a tiny bit here and then blast around Michael on the outside. It's amazing how fast you can take that left corner. Left corner? Sorry, I mean last corner. It's a right-hand corner. I meant last corner. You can take it shockingly fast. Now, I will be getting into some of my reference points for braking markers. I'm already getting a little bit squirrely here, but I've got a lot to go. So just watch here. Very short braking point here. With degrading tires, it's difficult because you keep having to adjust. Now the bots stay in the middle, and you can go a lot lower, and here is still very little. Now, you know what? Let's not talk about braking point. Well, okay, on the right, there's a road that joins the track. That's the beginning of that is my braking point. Because we've got these degrading tires, it's a bit iffy, but that is what I'm going with. Right as that side road joins into the Lime Rock circuit there. So that's what I'm using. Here, I'm braking pretty late, as you can see, pretty well when I'm getting on the curb. Light braking point. Now, it's worse because I'm squirrely. But I just need to get up here, and this is so stressful. You're not going to believe this. Just watch closely what happens. I'm fighting. I've been fighting for a long time. This is the hardest one for me, I think. How did I win that? There must have been some sort of a visual glitch. Like, I'm stunned. I'm just sitting here staring at the screen, waiting for the times to show up because I'm stunned. 0.019 second lead. I don't know how that's possible. That's what they gave me. Hallelujah. I'll take it. And there you can see the upgrades I have. We'll show you again at the very end. Some of these stages are super wordy. This one's not bad. So I've got a tailgate Ahmed for 3 seconds, and then most likely the race just ends. Okay, check it out. Full throttle. There was a slight tilt to the left, then back to the right again. We got to go through that. This is the chicane. You got to blast this chicane. You got to blast that chicane. You got to sort out that braking point in this car. It takes a bit of trial and error, and then you've got to trust your muscle memory in the chicane if you're going to use chase view. I think this is the least advantageous view to use going through the chicane, the back view I'm using. Probably better if you're using one of the in front views like bonnet view, but I can't relearn a viewpoint this quick. It just, no. So I've developed my muscle memory. So get this, got to be careful, scraping by Eric, and there we go, and blast this chicane again. I still have to reach Ahmed, right? Now, interestingly enough, through my trial and error, Ahmed's driving a Valkyrie. I know that. So the interesting thing is, how does the Valkyrie handle at this track? Well, I don't know because I haven't tested it. I don't know where he's going to be braking. I don't know where he is weak and where he is strong. So this is my first time really catching up to Ahmed. And so I've got to sort that out on the fly because I just don't know. Where do I catch up? And where do I fall back? Wait a second. No, this is my second time catching up to him. Second time. But still, looked like he lost a lot on the chicane. So I'm thinking I better brake early here. And no, that was a mistake. Because he's taking off. Okay, well, what about here? A slight tap. You can see that I could probably keep it full throttle on that last corner with these upgrades, okay? Man, you got to get close in order for this to kick in. And I'm squirrely. I'm pushing it way too far. Again, because I haven't really mastered Lime Rock, so I'm squirrely. Whoa, baby! Okay, my hope is the chicane, so I'm going to brake late, try to catch him, and then he's, oh my gosh, oh no, ah! Oh, I was so nervous I was going to get failed due to damage. But I got my tailgating in because tailgating, you can be beside, you don't have to be right behind. More on that, there'll be a video at the very end for you to see how that works. Slight pause here, and then I'm full throttle right away, and I'm going to keep it to the far left, and I do need to say that, watch this. Far left, I need to lengthen this track to hit my speed target here. So I've got to hit a speed target 3 times, 330 kilometers an hour. You can check out miles if you want to. And I've got to get 1 position ahead. So that's not easy. And again, I've not mastered this circuit. So what I'm realizing is almost no braking is required right here. Like even that, way too much. But then watch on your right where there's a shadow hitting the wall. That's kind of when I'm on the brakes, because you need to blast through here and keep it to the left, because you're going to have way more grip than you actually realize. See, I wasn't even having to maximize there. I got to wait for my 330 to hit. I'm watching for that. I'm not watching for the braking point. I'm watching for my 330 to hit. And then I'm going to get on those brakes. And it's working up pretty good. There's Eric. I've got not a lot of more to catch him. And then swooping through these, man, this is a fast track. Once you dial it in, holy smokes, is this ever a fast and fun track. Even though it's flat round here, flat round there, flat round everywhere. Okay, so I'm catching up to, oh, that was almost a failure. Instant fail going off track. This is old school hard recommended PR event, and I love it. I love the challenge. I like getting pushed a bit, so I don't mind this one bit, okay? Met all my speed targets are met. Now I need to overtake Eric without going off track and without getting damaged or damaging him too much. So I'm gonna try to set this up, stay full throttle. Ooh, little tag, little tap. There we go. He got on the brakes. I'm clear. Now I'm clear. I just need to be reasonable with my braking points, and I'm clear. I'm braking a little bit early, which is risky because Eric, if he hits me, I'll fail. That kind of sucks, but that's the way it works. And actually, that makes sense in real racing. If you're not acting normally in a race, you can cause a massive wreck. I decided I'd watch him as I beat him. Yeah, baby. Okay, one more to go. This took me a while. The developers made a mistake in the description. I'll get to that in a bit. I want you to watch what I'm doing here. Okay, so as soon as I have control, I'm full throttle. And I'm gonna stay full throttle through this corner right here. And I'll be staying full throttle for the last corner while I'm gonna try to. Ooh, got snaky. Okay, and then my braking point is gonna be right where the road, right there, where that side road joins the main track, right at the beginning of that. The developers made a mistake in this stage. It says no off track. That is not true at all. I spent one of my attempts, I was blowing corner one every single time. So I think I must have had at least 2 seconds, 3 seconds of off track. It seems like it was unlimited, but you don't want to be doing that. There's no benefit to going off track here at all. There's no benefit. You need on track because you need speed, man. You need a lot of speed. Okay, braking point again. Watch for the side road joining. I'm on the brakes, right? I'm gonna sometimes do one braking point here, sometimes two, just depends. Braking point number 2, just as I'm getting into the turn here. And I stay on the brakes a little long because I want to stay full throttle through this turn. Paul Newman straight. Now watch, just as I'm making my left-hand turn, I'm on the brakes, back on the throttle. Very short braking point. I'm shocked how little you have to brake. And look how much oh no! Ah! Okay, obviously I was way off track and I hit a wall. You definitely cannot get heavily damaged here. Like if I crash into Eric when I reach him, that's it, I'm done. So I kind of messed up my average speed now. I'm gonna have to earn that back. I'm really glad that I saved it. Obviously, there's a little bit of room for error. I like to be full throttle here, and then as I start my left-hand turn, I get on the brakes just for a little bit, back on the throttle. Way to the left. None of that was off track, okay? I was doing that in other stages. Look at that. That wasn't off track. Little braking point here. Maybe I could keep it pinned, but sometimes it's better to give up a little tiny bit just so you don't totally blow the race. So this is tricky. Okay, it took me 2 or 3 tries probably to be able to nail the average speed to optimize this. Because one, you got to catch Eric, then you got to overtake him. And again, I don't have a lot of experience with the other Huayra Rs at this track, so I don't necessarily know where their weak point is. I think it's going to be the corner just before we go up the hill. I think that's where he's going to be weak. Well, we're going to find out very soon because there he is. So in the last lap, I've got to get it. This is it. Gotta go, baby. Ooh, getting nervous there. Again, I wouldn't fail if I went off track, but Eric's just gonna drive off into the beautiful sunset. Take a look at the sky for just a second. All right, look at that, see? That's why I want to keep it full throttle there, because I gained on him nicely. Will he give it to me? He gave it to me. Awesome, because I was close enough to him. So now I can take it a little bit easy, not too much. Oh, that was off track. Oh boy. And there we go. I'm super happy with that. We're going to get into my total costs and final upgrades here right now. So, in total, I spent $1,933,200 R dollars, 200 gold. After rewards, $1,633,200 R dollars, 100 gold was spent. And please like, please subscribe. Here's the playlist link, drafting versus tailgating, some other stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.